In the quiet heart of London, where power sleeps behind velvet curtains and centuries, whisper through marble halls, stands Buckingham Palace, a symbol of splendor, older than time itself, yet not entirely silent. For most, it is a beacon of dignity, the living emblem of monarchy. But for those who have walked its corridors after midnight, it is something else, a maze of shadows, a monument that breathes, a place where the past never truly died. They say when the palace clock strikes 3, a figure drifts through the Queen's gallery, her gown shimmering like moonlight. Guards call her the Phantom Queen. Some say she was betrayed. Others say she was forgotten. But all agree, she never forgave the living. It began with whispers, soft and uncertain. A cry from an empty room, a door that opened on its own, eyes in portraits that seemed to move. The staff laughed it off, claiming it was the age of the building, tricks of the mind. Until one night, the scent of roses filled the air, the same scent that once belonged to a queen long dead, from chambers sealed for decades. History may tell you the royals keep their secrets buried, but inside Buckingham's heart, one spirit refused to rest. She still walks among the chandeliers and candlelight, trapped between the living and the dead, waiting for her truth to be heard. And tonight we open that door. This is not just a ghost story, as it's a royal confession, the haunting truth of the Phantom Queen. Ilara Voss had never believed in ghosts, not truly. She was a woman of facts and footnotes, a historian whose life unfolded in the dry rustle of archival paper and the faint glow of microfiche screens. At 34, with sharp features framed by a severe bob of chestnut hair and eyes, the color of polished oak, she carried herself with the quiet authority of someone who trusted only what could be verified. Her appointment as the palace's new archivist came as a surprise, a coup orchestrated by a distant connection to the royal household, a favor called in after years of meticulous scholarship on the Tudor courts. Buckingham Palace, she told herself, was merely a grand repository, its secrets locked in ledgers and letters, not in the ether of superstition. She arrived on a drizzling autumn evening, her suitcase wheels whispering against the cobblestones of the forecourt, the palace looming like a benevolent giant under the sodium lamps. The air held a chill that seeped into her bones, but she dismissed it as the Thames's eternal dampness. Her quarters were modest, tucked into the staff wing, a narrow room with a single window, overlooking the east garden, where roses clung to trellises like desperate fingers. That first night, as she unpacked her volumes on Victorian intrigue, a faint perfume drifted in on the breeze. Roses. She paused, inhaling deeply, then shook her head. The gardeners must have been at work. Days blurred into a rhythm of dust motes and discovery. Ilara's domain was the Royal Archives, labyrinthine vault beneath the palace's east wing, where the air was thick with the scent of aged vellum and sealing wax. She spent her hours cataloging forgotten correspondences, piecing together the mundane machinery of monarchy, invitations to balls that masked assassinations, love letters redacted with black ink. The staff were a tight-knit circle, their faces etched with the weariness of service. There was Harold, the grizzled head butler, whose stories of state banquets carried the weight of half a century, and young Lila, the maid with wide eyes and a laugh like breaking glass, who dusted the Queen's gallery each dawn. They spoke of the palace with reverence and fear. Their voices dropped when the conversation turned to the old shadows. It was Lila who first mentioned the Phantom Queen over tea one gray afternoon. "She's not like the others," the girl said, twisting the hem of her apron. "The gray lady in the tower or that monk at Hampton Court, they're echoes. But she's angry. They say she was a consort, promised the crown, and then cast aside. Her rooms were sealed after she vanished up in the state apartments." Ilara smiled politely. "Legends make the work bearable, I suppose. But history doesn't vanish. It just gets archived." Lila's gaze lingered on her, heavy with something unspoken. That evening, as twilight bled into the palace halls, Ilara received her first summons to the upper floors. The keeper of the privy purse, Sir Reginald, a man with a mustache like a broom bristle, awaited her in the bow room. The air reeked of old polish and old secrets. "Miss Voss," he began, "the family has concerns, minor disturbances. Certain artifacts in the Queen's gallery have been displaced. A brooch missing, footprints where none should be." He slid a dossier across the table. Inside, inventory lists, grainy photos, and one name, Caroline of Ansbach. Ilara frowned. "Restorers, perhaps?" Sir Reginald's eyes, pale as winter fog, did not blink. "The gallery closes at dusk. The restorers haven't touched it in months. Trace the provenance, if you will, quietly." That night, she dreamed of corridors twisting like veins, of walls breathing. She woke at 3, the clocks chimed deep and cold. From her window, she saw the garden bathed in moonlight and a shadow moving among the roses. A woman's shape drifting, then gone. When dawn came, a crimson petal rested on her windowsill. Her investigation led her to the Queen's gallery and a tapestry that concealed a door. Beyond it, a stair spiraled down into darkness. At the bottom, a room forgotten by time, dust, a mirror cracked like gilt, and a journal dated 1723. Dearest Eliza, it began, he promises eternity, yet his eyes stray. I am the Shadow Queen, beloved in whispers, discarded in light. The roses in the garden mock me with their thorns. The author signed C. Ilara read, heart pounding. Caroline? No, this was someone erased from history. The next page bled desperation. They seal my chambers tonight. I smell roses. The Phantom Queen had a name. From that night, the palace changed. Whispers became words. Footsteps echoed without source. The scent of roses followed her like breath on glass. Each clue pulled her closer, and a birth record burned, a royal decree erased, a woman's name blotted from the archives, until finally she saw her. In the gallery, beneath the tapestry's shifting threads, the apparition formed, regal, sorrowful, draped in moonlight. You found me, she said. Now tell them what they did. The rest a storm of revelation and ruin. The truth unearthed, a love forbidden, a child hidden, a queen entombed alive. Ilara, trembling, promised to reveal it. The world will know, she whispered. The Phantom Queen smiled, then vanished with the dawn, leaving only a rose and a single word carved in the dust. Witness. Weeks later, the headlines screamed. Buckingham's hidden heir? The palace denied, of course. But every night at 3, the scent returned. Roses in the dark. And so the legend endures. The queen who would not forgive. The historian who gave her voice. And a palace that still breathes secrets. Story presented by Whisper Dark.